Hello, what's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? I'm out here in the jungle, and so sometimes some stuff is moving in the background, and I'm like, what is that? And then I gotta look, because you don't know what could be out here doing whatever it's doing, but I realized that was my hand. Hi, hand. Uh, so, I just heard that, Beyonce removed the term spazz from her song on her new album. Lizzo, a month or so back, did the same thing. Both of those were after they had been addressed by the disability community as being ableist. And I've been listening to a lot of people respond. Some of my favorite folks are responding and pointing out some of the, inconsistencies about who calls out what and who they call out and what are the racial dynamics that exist therein, all of those things. And I think those things are important. I've had this conversation as it relates to queerness. I've had this conversation as it relates to, fatness and size. Like, literally, these are something in my mouth. These are not new conversations. Is that? No. Okay, I thought I had something in my teeth. Y'all know I'm usually on here with something, doing something. But I'm okay today, it appears. Actually, my skin is looking good. I look like I got rest. My little eczema patch is cleared up. I'm looking all right. Here's what I want to share. Because what appears to me to be happening that I'm very excited about is that finally, and when I say finally, I mean finally, because I've been talking about ableist language for a decade, which means that, people who've existed, in the disability justice community, in the disability community, far longer than I have been talking about it for decades, right? And so the fact that we are literally 10 years later finally getting to the place where ableist language is permeating the mainstream in such a way that mainstream artists are checking it brings me such great joy. And of course, all of the backlash and all of the people who are like, how is that an ableist word? And y'all doing too much, policing words, all of that rhetoric is also coming up. And so I just want to speak to it a little. I want to speak to the energy in which I would like to see us invite this moment. That's what I would like to do. And this, I would offer, applies to all moments where we begin to see the tipping point of consciousness around an issue into the mainstream. What I want everyone to start with is what I just said a few seconds ago, which is if you are just hearing about it, it is not because it just happened. It is not because it's the first time somebody said anything. It is literally likely because you are part of the mainstream. You are part of the default body in this instance. And so it hasn't had to matter to you. You have not had to live with the impact of the language. And so consequently, it has never occurred to you, not only because you're in the default body, but because you are also highly likely disconnected from the community that is impacted by it. You didn't know the word lame, psycho, crazy, spazz was ableist because you didn't have to know. Because you were not impacted by it, and you likely have very little interaction with the people who are impacted by it. If you look around your world, you will likely see a significant amount of people who do not have said impacts. You probably don't have a lot of disabled people in your life on a daily basis that you are in intimate relationship with. You probably don't have that. You probably haven't sought it out. You probably haven't inquired about their experiences and the circumstances that they're living through that have been impacted by the language that you are just now coming to hear or be told is ableist. That's a function of your privilege. And because when we get confronted with our privilege, our default response is to become defensive, right? And then what we do is then we negate the thing we're hearing, right? Oh, that can't be true. Like literally, I listened to Charlemagne the God in an interview with Lizzo, just completely missed the point. Like, well, the dictionary, the dictionary has it be has it mean this and this. The dictionary doesn't create the definitions. We do, and then the dictionary captures them. And so the language was so consistently used to describe wilding out, to describe tripping out, from its origin, which was to describe the movements of a body spasming, that it became a colloquialism. We're not actually new to that, y'all. Like, come on. Like, let's not act like we don't know that we say words, those words go into popular rotation, and then those words go into the dictionary. Fleek is in the dictionary. Nobody's even saying fleek anymore. But it made it to the dictionary because it became part of mainstream consciousness. But we also know that mainstream consciousness will often obfuscate, I needed to throw that word in there today, obfuscate the actual or oppressive origin of a word so that the mainstream sort of energy around it becomes one that doesn't have to interrogate the oppressive history. We know that happens all the time. That's not new, y'all. And so I really invite us to lower your privilege hackles when that energy of defensiveness comes up, to lower your privilege hackles and recognize that it's likely you're responding from your privilege. You are responding from a place of having not needed to know because you weren't impacted. And there's no need to shame or be in judgment about that because it already is what it is, right? Like, because shame won't fix it and judgment won't fix it. What will fix it is an awareness that now you know and you have an opportunity to do better. And what I love about Beyonce and Lizzo is now they know and they've chosen to do better. So here's an opportunity. Anytime something is crossing the threshold of popular consciousness and it's about a community's response to something they deem harmful, like ableist language. And I'm going to give you some examples again. Lame. Y'all, please stop saying lame. It is initially a word used to describe people who could not walk, people who were non-ambulatory. They were considered lame. So now when we say something is broken or whack or not good, we call it lame. Can you see the connection between the inception of the word and then the derogatory language that it went on to mean and how it is stigmatizing? Can we see that? Can we see that connection? Same with psycho, same with crazy. All of these words have stigmatizing effects on the people who live with the circumstances of their origins. And so when you hear these things and you're being told now in the popular consciousness that those things are harmful, please just believe the people. Please just start with, you are behind. And that's okay. It's okay to be behind, but it's not okay to stay behind. And it's not okay to defend your lack of information because you just chose not to know. Stop gaslighting marginalized communities by pretending like what they've been saying to you for decades isn't true because you just heard it. Learn to hear with some compassion, with some grace. Lower your privilege hackles. And then guess what? We will have a world that transforms so much faster with so much ease and so much loving accountability to one another. We all deserve that. Bye.